Well, as we continue to monitor Tropical Storm Fred, winds up to 50 miles per hour this evening. But as we go in a little closer, you can see the thunderstorm action is being blown off towards the north and east there. And that's because we still have some wind shear. Wind shear is basically winds aloft that are coming in and basically helping to push all the thunderstorm action away from the center of the storm. So you can see on the right side, a lot of action. On the west side, you're saying what part of the storm? And this is indications of a system that's a little disorganized still, but notice the thunderstorms are trying to wrap around that center. So I think as we get towards tomorrow morning, it'll be in a more favorable environment for the thunderstorms to wrap around and it become a little stronger. So we could be looking at a 60 to 70 mile per hour tropical storm at landfall, and then it'll make its way to the north. We're not really concerned about the winds here. What we're going to be concerned about are the remnants mixing with the front that's stalled out across the area, and that could give us a heavy rain setup going into the upcoming week. So here's Fred, again, making its way north. Here's that front. Notice as we get into tomorrow afternoon and evening, we'll see the rain chances really starting to ramp up across the area as that band or zone of very heavy rainfall begins to set up. But it's really once Fred moves to the north, really merges with that front, you're going to notice, the heavier rainfall really setting up right along the I-85 corridor. And not only for your Tuesday, that pattern will persist right on into your Wednesday as well. And so when you're talking about multiple days of very heavy rain with tropical moisture being thrown in, that's going to add up very quickly and give us some problems in some spots. So we've got this flash flood threat that's elevated as we go into this week. That does include pretty much the entire viewing area, again, under that risk of seeing flash flooding. And most of us will pick up several inches of rainfall. So you're probably going to be at the very least looking at some lakefront property there in front of your front yard that you may not have known about. But I think for a lot of us, we could be dealing with some flash flooding down the line as well. Now, for your Monday, I'm not too concerned about very heavy rainfall. I think we'll see a good soaking rainfall by the afternoon and evening. That'll add up to about a half an inch of rainfall or so across the area. But then Tuesday into Wednesday, that's when the rainfall really starts to ramp up. And these numbers, likely on the low end of things here, but looking at about 2 to 5 inches of rainfall at least across the area on average. But some of these yellow zones there, those are going to be isolated hot spots that will likely see totals more like 6, 7, 8 inches. So just be prepared. It's a little hard to define where that's exactly going to set up. But what we do know, 2 to 5 is a good bet. More than that, some folks will definitely see that. So stay tuned for more updates on as we get a little closer. And Perella will have an update on those rain numbers for you tomorrow morning. And then, of course, Chris Justice will be in tomorrow evening with a full update as well. But Fred is getting stronger tonight. Landfall expected for us Monday night. And Chris will be tracking that for you as it makes its way inland along the Florida Panhandle. We're talking waves of rain here through midweek. And the heaviest of that will be likely on Tuesday and Wednesday. Tropical depression Grace, weakened from a storm to a depression this evening. It's basically moving through the Caribbean graveyard of tropical systems, very similar to Fred, but it will emerge back over the Gulf of Mexico. But notice where it's going, more towards Texas, Mexico. So I don't think we have to worry about Grace, thankfully. And just in tonight, we have a new Tropical Depression 8 near Bermuda, but thankfully, this system should also stay out to sea. We'll call this a fish storm out here in the central Atlantic and moving away from the United States. Let's keep our fingers crossed that holds. Tonight, it's going to be warm and muggy. We've got temperatures in the 70s right now. Notice on Live Super Doppler 4 HD, we're seeing some of these tropical downpours and thunder showers beginning to develop. That south to north flow, we'll see this filling in more as we go throughout your Monday. And by Monday night, the heavy rain zone with that front oozing in, the moisture with that, along with the tropical moisture pulling in from the south, will combine to give us very wet conditions heading into the new week. So here's your 4-day plus. Again, alert days for your Monday, Tuesday, and the Wednesday. We're tracking that heavier rainfall. Again, not as heavy on your Monday, but by Monday night and especially Tuesday and the Wednesday, that's when the heaviest rain will arrive. And we're talking about, again, the potential of 2 to 5 inches with isolated higher amounts in some spots. And again, we'll be seeing that wet conditions in the mountains, possibly some landslides, but then more typical summer-like weather for the weekend.